Now that we know all of the cards releasing in MetaZoo's Torrential Tide set, here's everything you need to know about which aura types to look out for in terms of gameplay.
Listen, tinted windows like I'm ghosting in a phantom frame. Engine ground like it's hungry, I don't fan the flame.
To start, I'm going to briefly break down what each aura type is known for and why you would want to play it as either your primary or secondary aura. Starting with the new aura type, Water. Water mechanics are primarily based around control by either tapping your opponent's creatures or sending them back to your opponent's hand. Riptide Jackson seems to be the primary caster people are going to be looking to play for this aura type, with cards like Loch Ness Monster, Kraken, and both Loveland Frogmans being staples of the aura type. Water also looks to be extremely splashable into other decks, which means if you are playing a deck that is able to use water cards as a secondary aura type, you probably should use water cards as your secondary aura type. Next, we have Air. Air mechanics are based primarily around moving creatures between lanes and using Sword to stack points quickly against your opponent. Archive looks like he is going to continue to be the frontrunner caster for this aura, with old cards like Rainbow Crow, Van-Meter Visitor, and Burst of Wind providing a solid foundation for new cards like Bat Squatch, Fancy Cape, and Follow My Lead to drive this aura type to new heights. Next, we have Earth. Earth is centered around generating an aura advantage against your opponent and using it to summon high-cost, powerhouse creatures that overwhelm your opponent, pun intended. Honestly, there are a lot of good caster choices if you're looking to build an Earth deck, with Bridget as a likely frontrunner, but Javier and Brody Jones still looking to be viable options. New cards like Calipod, Honey Island Swamp Monster, and Sack all look to be interesting additions to the meta that if you aren't playing them, you better have a plan for dealing with them. Next, we have Fire. Fire is a deck I had sort of written off after base set as borderline not playable, but that could not be further from the truth now. Fire is all about doing damage and giving your creatures powerful equipment to defeat your opponent. If you played a lot of MetaZoo, you know just how important speed and generating early advantage in this game is, and Fire can spread and get out of control quickly if you don't put it out early. Wei seems to be the obvious pick for anyone looking to run a Fire deck, as the ability to play cheap equipment synergizes extremely well with the aura type's playstyle. New cards I would look to play include both Headless Coal Miners and Molten Hammer. Lastly, we have Lightning, which was a fan favorite after base set and will likely continue to see a lot of play as we move forward. Lightning is an aura type based mostly off of token generation, with Maeve being one of the most popular casters in the last format. Maeve will likely to continue to be the #1 choice for Lightning players, as new cards like Raijin, Electrify, and Concentrated Resources help fill out some of the consistency gaps Lightning was missing in the past. So which aura type is the best? Toward the end of the base set format, it's starting to feel like if you weren't playing Archive or Bridget, you're setting yourself up for failure, with Maeve being able to squeak out the occasional win if things went really well. However, in this new format, so far, I can't say there is a clear frontrunner. The game actually seems extremely balanced between the 5 aura types, which is not what I was expecting to happen. Now, if I had to give an answer, I would say that Water or decks that can play water cards like Earth and Lightning may rule the meta initially, but Air and Fire decks provide solid counter meta picks that can tear you apart if you aren't careful. I also think creativity is going to be super important moving forward. I spent a lot of time building decks and testing them already, and still only feel like I've explored the tip of the iceberg. There are a ton of options for different strategies and techniques to try out, so it'll be very interesting keeping an eye on what different members of the community are building and playing as well. Which aura type do you think is the best?
And magic is real.